What a day. Today's the day that we're going to have our family Thanksgiving dinner. Oh boy. Yeah, I know I look a mess, but I'm tired. I've made the pumpkin pie. I've made the brownies. So we're going to have pumpkin pie with whipped cream, and then brownies with vanilla ice cream and chocolate fudge syrup or caramel or strawberry preserves that are warmed up a little bit and poured over the top of the brownie. That's my favorite thing. Maybe with a little chocolate syrup with the ice cream and the strawberries. Anyway, so I've got those made. I've got my toast. I just need to cut these pieces up, and I'm not making stuffing. I'm going to make breaded tomatoes. I'm going to make macaroni and cheese and candied sweet potatoes, which I'm working on right now. Let's see. I got such a mess here. Let's move this over a little bit. I'll leave that out. So I made the candied syrup, and I put them. First of all, I boiled the sweet potatoes for about 7 or 8 minutes. After I peeled and sliced them up. And then I made this sauce with sugar. I thought I had brown sugar, but it was hard as a rock. And I tried putting it in the microwave to warm it up, and it just did not soften up at all. So this is sugar and honey and butter. And let's see. I think that's it. So now what I'm going to do is I've got a little over a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm going to add the spices. I'm going to add, let me see, for this size of stuff I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon if I can get it open, 1/4 teaspoon of the cloves. I'm going to put that directly into the vanilla. And put that back for the pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. And I'm going to take I'll just do 2. I'm gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. It's gonna wind up being, well, let's see if I can, okay, that should be a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then I've got ginger, and I'm just gonna put 1/4 of a teaspoon of the ginger. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir this up. Which is not recommended to do with a fork. And then I'm going to take okay, this is already dirty, so I'm going to take some of this well, I need to get a spoon. This is thickened up, but when it's heated up, it will, oh, here's some loose parts. There we go. This is exactly what I need. And I'm just going to start mixing this up as I go, because what I want to do is I want to drizzle. Don't want to add any more sugar to it. Yeah, parts of this, I had stuck it in the refrigerator while I was resting. So parts of this is congealing, so I have to really hunt. But I didn't want to add any more sugar because it's already got way more than enough. And I don't want to add any more butter either because it's already got a whole stick of butter in it. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And the reason I'm doing it this way, to tell you honestly, is when I was making this earlier, my back was killing me. And I forgot to add these. Oh, wait. Okay, what I'm going to do is just going to do it like this. There we go. Try to make it even. So, when you screw up, you look for a way to hide the screw up so nobody else knows. Can you see what I'm doing? No, you can't, can you? Doggone it. This small space is just... Okay. That should be good enough. So, you know what I was going to do? Well, now this is really weird. I never can find anything. I rearranged. Oh, here it is. And what is this? Oh, never mind. Okay. I'll be glad to get rid of some of this food around here. I've got all this extra food. Trying to decide if I want to... I bought this marshmallow fluff because I've got everything to make fudge except the marshmallow fluff. So I didn't buy any marshmallows. So what I'm thinking of doing, I'm just going to pop a little bit of this and see how this works. Okay. Then I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator because it won't take very... Come on. Sticky stuff. It won't take very long for this to cook. To bake, I mean. So, what did I do with the... Oh, there it is. Come on. I think I will just save this back for Christmas fudge. It's my favorite type of fudge. Okay. So that is ready to go. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, the breaded tomatoes, it's not what it sounds like really. What did I do with my knife? Now this is, oh, it's buried. This is a recipe that my grandmother used to do. And I think it's back from Depression days. And I think it comes from Appalachian area, which is, I think, is where my ancestry comes from. And part of the recipe is to toast some bread. This year I got a loaf of French bread because I don't really like it with... They used to make it with the regular white bread, which makes sense since it comes from Depression times. And normally you would just take 3 pieces of white toast and cut it up in cubes, which is what I'm doing now with the... There we go. See, my work area is very small. But anyway, this is a recipe from my family history. Now, this looks really stale, which it kind of is, because it's going to soak up the juice from the tomatoes. And if you talk to any old person, well, nearly any old person, they will probably go, oh, breaded tomatoes, yeah. My family used to make that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in a bag. I'm cutting them up now, although I don't need them now, because you make the dish and then right before you eat, you put the bread in the tomatoes. Listen to that. That's going to really soak it up good. Boy, I'll tell you what. Oh! Well, something usually winds up on the floor. I'm making my own breadcrumbs here. Okay, so I'm going to finish cutting these up, and then we're going to get started on making the breaded tomatoes. Ah, there you go. Okay, hold on. Whoops. That was my left hand. I can't do... Oh. See? That, like I said, everything winds up on the floor. That is part of the cheese that I grated. And my hand got really tired grating it. So I was really unsteady. And on my way back to the refrigerator, some of it fell off of the top. I was not pleased after all that work. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay. So I've got this cut up. And look at all these breadcrumbs that I have. I'm going to put this in there too, because the gluten from the bread will go nicely in it. So that's ready for later. So now what you're going to need to make breaded tomatoes is half a cup of onion. Now it would be nice to have sweet yellow onion in this, but I don't have yellow onion, but I love onion, so I don't want to leave it out. And doggone it. You would think that I would know better. Oh, wait. You know what? I did not cut up all the bread. Well, I cut up the loaf of French bread. And then I toasted it in my air fryer. Good crunchy. And then of course I cut it up. So I've got this butter sitting out here, and I'm going to go ahead and use this. I wanted the butter to be nice and soft. And I'm going to take, I need to get another one out. Oh, look, there's still paper on this. Huh, that's nice. So we're going to turn this on to 5. Oh. And we're going to let the 2 tablespoons of butter melt. And once that started melting, then we're going to put the onions in. I got air in here. There it started. Okay. All right. So I've got, my pot is really too deep, but I cooked the sweet potatoes in the smaller pot, and I haven't washed the pot yet. So let me put my spoon in here so I can get rid of this extra butter. There we go. Oh, come on. Why aren't you staying up there? I just want you to stay up there for right now, because I'll need you later, so don't go anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and put the half a cup of onion in. And we're going to cook this until the onions are soft. We don't have to cook them until they're a color, but we do want them to get soft because this is going to take about 20 minutes. So it's a fast side dish. And you guys are all going to try it this year because who knows, this could be my last Thanksgiving. And I want to see what you think. Nobody ever eats it but me. Okay, so besides that, half a cup of onion and 2 tablespoons of butter. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 2 14.5-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. I have a 28-ounce of crushed tomatoes, so that's what I'm going to use for this. All-purpose crushed tomatoes. And then we're going to put, calls for half a cup of sugar. I'm not going to put quite that much in. It also calls for half a cup of oil, which is quite a bit of oil, but you'll see in the end. With the bread and all like that, that will, you won't be able to tell. And anyway, it calls for a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to go ahead and put some salt in here, but I'm not going to put a whole teaspoon. If I don't put any salt at all, with it being tomatoes, and this only has 20 milligrams of sodium, so it's going to need some more than that. And if you don't put the salt in with the sugar, it's not going to work. With the acid from the tomatoes and the sugar, no salt is just not going to work. And one time a year, I figure I can have a little bit more salt than usual. Okay, it's cooking good. I'm going to turn it down to 3 for right now while I'm letting the onions soften up. And we're going to get the flour out because that will be going in soon. So you're going to have salt and pepper, and then just the toasted breadcrumbs, or bread cubes. So, anyway, my grandmother always made this for the family for Thanksgiving. This was definitely a Thanksgiving dish. And I think she probably made it for Grandpa. Although she liked it too. But they were born in the early, well, over 100 years ago. So that's how close I am to the Civil War. My grandparents were born about, 40 years or so from the time that the Civil War ended, and I was born 85 years after. I got the oven warming up because I got to make the cookies. So, starting to get a little warm in here. Plus, I've got the sweatshirt thing on. Okay, the onions are just about ready. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, come on, get off. We're going to do 2 tablespoons. I wish I could read this. Okay, that's a half of a tablespoon, so I'm going to do 4 of these. You don't have to sift it. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stir this into the butter and onions. And we've got to let this flour cook now for just a little bit. And it should look like this. So we'll let that cook for about 3 minutes. Anyway, in one of the other videos, recipes that I made for you guys, I talked about how when Dad was in the Korean War, Mom and I went to live with her parents, as well as Aunt Alice and Uncle Bill. And I really enjoyed that time. That was just an amazing time. They lived across from a park, and I can remember sitting on the front porch swing and Grandma trying to teach me how to whistle. See, that's as good as I can still do. She finally just gave up and said, sweetheart, it's never going to happen. So while that's cooking, I'm going to open up this can of, maybe, there we go, this can of tomatoes. And we're going to dump this all in. We don't drain it or anything. I don't want to. Okay. And cooking the raw flour will take about 3 minutes, so we should be just about done. So, in they go. Now, I really like, or Grandma used to use her own canned tomatoes. So when I came along and was making this, I didn't have canned tomatoes. I never had enough time to really get in there and learn how to do it, although I did help her when I was younger. Okay, we're going to stir this all up. Make sure you get in the corners. Get all that flavor stirred in. And I need to take my trash out. My trash bin was completely full this time. So, I got too much trash in here. I need to take care of that. I have turned that up to 4. And I'm going to take a look and see how much liquid this generates. Because we are going to need liquid for the bread. And let me get the sugar out. What did I do with my cup measurements? Got them out. How come I can't find them? Huh. Well, this is a fine kettle of fish. Huh. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to have to move you. Hi. I got to get into my other cups. It's almost time for a break. Okay, I'm going to use a quarter cup measurement. Come on. Let's start heating up here. Might as well go ahead and get my trusty broth out. I mean, it looks like there's some liquid, but because the whole tomatoes has more liquid in it than the crushed, this is more like tomato sauce, and I didn't realize that I bought crushed. Yeah, it's one of those. I think I'm reaching for something and it's definitely not there. Not it. Okay. So let's let that start to, okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. And I just don't want to put that much sugar in because there's already sugar in the yams and we've got dessert, but I am going to taste it if I think that I need more. Okay, so we got the sugar in. Okay. My nose is really itching, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and use this. Because a quarter cup is a quarter cup. It's just easier to control the spillage. Okay. Did I say, okay, that's a one quarter and 1/2. Okay. So these ingredients are not expensive. Oh, here it goes. So you just stir all this together. Once we get this stirred together, let everybody get acquainted. Then we're going to put the salt and pepper in. Now, the bread will soak up the oil, and along with it, the taste of the tomato. Okay, so there's still some oil around the edges, but that's okay. All right. So now okay, that's probably about 1/2 of a teaspoon. Calls for a teaspoon, so if you want the teaspoon, go ahead and put it in there. Then we're going to put a quarter teaspoon of pepper in there and let it cook for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to store it away, and I'm going to rest, and then we'll move on to the chocolate chip, pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. I'll clean my work area. Oh, it's coming together. It just needs to cook a little bit. And I don't think I'm going to need any more liquid. I think that's going to be good. So I'm going to taste it in a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Well, here. This is family. Although I do have some family that don't like it, so I won't stick this spoon. I'll get a new spoon. Just needs the pepper. And I'm going to turn it back down to 3. How come I never can find my pepper? Actually, no. Oh, here it is. I kind of want it a little spicy. So we're just going to add just a few. And I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not going to measure the pepper, because I do like the pepper. There we go. Gonna let this cook for about 10 more minutes, and then it'll be ready to go. And now you can't see the oil at all. All the oil has been incorporated in with the tomatoes and onions and peppers and the red pepper flakes, and the salt and pepper and the sugar. So I'll taste it again here in a little bit after it cooks for a while. I'm going to put the lid on. And we'll call it good. I love you guys. See you in a little bit. Hope I have time to shower and make myself look better than this, though. But it's going to be a good day, guys. It's just a regular Thanksgiving meal with the Sullins family. And we know what that means. Bye.